theatre, film, TV and more. Suzy Wrong reviews it all on Joy Drive.
Hello, Suzy Wrong.
I think you've got a superpower, Warren.
Who?
I think your superpower is being a really great chatterbox.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you're the best conversationalist.
Oh, thank you, Suzy. That's really kind of you. I love chatting to people. I love it. I just find out so much from people in terms of what they're passionate about. And when someone's really passionate about something or devotes their life to a particular piece of work, it's fascinating. You can hear the energy when they talk to you. How good is it?
You're so inquisitive and you have such a good listening ear.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I like listening to people. I just love it. I'm very, very lucky to be doing this job, Suzy. I'm really grateful. I just am so lucky because, I won't say I don't care about the stars or anything. Of course, they're lovely, but I like listening to what people have to say that are just working hard and bringing new stuff to our attention. I think it's fascinating. I find it so interesting. You're really interesting.
Yeah, the
Suzy.
range of guests. Thank you. The range of guests that you get on your show is so broad, and it's really interesting to hear. Like, obviously, it's often very educational, but from a technical perspective, like, I find it fascinating that you can get into deep conversations with all kinds of people. It's a superpower.
Wouldn't it be great if it was a superpower? What's your superpower, Suzy?
I think my superpower is I'm good at making people feel good about themselves.
Oh, see, that's amazing. What a great thing to be able to do.
Yeah. I think it takes a bit of cultivation, same with your abilities. And it wasn't conscious, but I was thinking today about superpowers because of this week's TV show. I thought, yeah, it is sort of a superpower because I can't see a lot of people having that same ability to do what you do and to do what I would say I pride myself on doing.
Do you think, Suzy, I've got to say, and I'm returning a compliment here because, when I call you just to chat about something non-related to this, you have really good insight that a lot of people don't have and a very grounded, calming, I suppose, view of things. Do you reckon it's your history that has given you that sort of wisdom and awareness, or is it something that you were just born with and it's instinctual?
Both. I know that I was born with a lot of sensitivity that sometimes, it almost feels like a sixth sense thing. I don't think it is a sixth sense thing, but because it is not really a common quality that people have, I feel like I can read people very well and I can very quickly kind of intuit why they're feeling things, and then link, for example, when you're calling me about some issue with whatever, and I think I can quite quickly link it to what makes you feel, because, something can happen and people can respond in different ways. And I can quite quickly, understand why you're responding the way that you respond. So I think that's a good thing. And I feel like it makes me a likable person. Maybe that's why I cultivate it. I like being a likable person. I like people thinking, oh, she's here. I love having her presence. So I think that's one of the things that I've cultivated.
But that's a genuine thing with you, isn't it? It's not like, we love having her here because, you don't think that because I just love the energy. You genuinely like people to benefit from hanging around you.
I think so. I like to kind of divert attention away from myself a bit. Yeah, it's a strange balance. Obviously, I like attention as well, but at the same time, I feel like it needs to be reciprocal maybe. So I've learned to, make people feel good about themselves the way that I want to feel good when I'm in other people's presence.
Suzy, I'm just thinking, as we're talking, we've both been through different journeys in life and some quite tough things to have gone through. I reckon it's easy to, and I suppose it depends on who you are and what you're going through, but you could easily take the road of being, upset and disgruntled and angry with everything, or you can sort of somehow use that and and let it dissipate. Do you know what I mean? And just become a kind
You
of
certainly
person.
see that happen a lot. I certainly meet a lot of people who are that way. And I think that times that I was that way, I think in my 30s, I was probably quite a moody person. And I kind of didn't feel like I needed to be a nicer person, and I think there's a lot of truth that, there is value in being a good person. There's not much value in being a nice person. I think that's where I arrived at in my 30s. But then I realized that it is actually really draining. And I didn't like it for myself. I felt like it was, maybe I felt like I was representing myself in an honest manner, but more than it being annoying for other people, it was annoying for myself.
Do you like getting older and wiser, Suzy?
I've always liked that. But obviously now, getting older is becoming a bit more serious now that we're in our 50s. There are health challenges. You just have to be very careful about those things, and energy levels. That sort of stuff is unpleasurable. But so far so good.
Suzy Wrong, we're talking about a show today that is on Netflix. It's called Reverse for You. What did you think of it?
Jatawa is 19 and starting law school, but perhaps more interesting is her magical abilities to go back in time if she needs to have anything fixed. Her younger sister Vivi is a clairvoyant who has visions of the future, but despite these supernatural capacities, the two girls are on the brink of homelessness when their uncle turns up out of the blue and sells off their family home. In comes Four, a rich girl from the same university that Jatawa is attending, who saves the day by leasing a luxurious apartment to the sisters at a deeply discounted price. Jatawa and Four then profess their affections for each other in Reverse for You, this romantic dramedy from Thailand that you can find on Netflix. There are 8 episodes, each one 40 minutes long, that I barely tolerated in trying to watch for today's chat. I made it to the halfway point after being put to sleep repeatedly by its tedium. I found Reverse for You to be excruciatingly boring, terribly unfocused, and painfully meaningless. The writing is poor, as are the direction and all the acting. Its production values are adequate, though. The show looks fairly polished, but none of the characters are endearing and its narratives are all puerile. Reverse for You is clearly made for a much younger audience, so it could possibly work for teenagers, but I have my doubts. I have never seen TV programs from Thailand, so I don't know if it's an entire paradigm or milieu that I'm not familiar with, but I can only talk about my personal response to it. Of course, I'm glad that queerness is framed in a positive way in the show. It is refreshingly not about homophobia, and there isn't a lot of cliche drama about the challenges of coming out. The two young women explore their connection just like any teenagers would. But I do wish that it has more to say. Warren, last week I mentioned that Reverse for You involves some kind of body swapping, but none of that is accurate. Sorry about the mistake. I sometimes forget to fact check when I'm using ChatGPT. Anyway, isn't this such a bore? Did you get to the end of even one episode?
Suzy, I can't describe to you the relief I have now. I thought all day I was thinking, how am I going to tell Suzy I only watched 10 minutes of this show? And I was thinking, what am I going to do? She's going to be so upset with me. But of course you wouldn't be upset. But I was feeling, I've let her down. I haven't watched it. I watched a little bit and I just turned it off. And I'm so relieved. I can't tell you the relief I've got now hearing you say that.
I struggled to make even one episode, but I did watch 5. I watched 5. But even in the middle point of the first episode. Actually, I want to talk to you about that. Like I feel like on one hand, we have a responsibility to our listeners. We don't want them to go and watch a show because of a fake review. Because,
no, exactly.
That doesn't... Yeah. But on the other hand, I just feel like these shows are worth making, and I'm glad they made it. And maybe there is an audience out there that we don't know, but definitely not for me.
Suzy, I always say this gets me into trouble. Just because it's gay doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah. In this case, you're definitely right.
But it's good to encourage it anyway. I kind of the concept of being able to go back and redo a moment in life would be so great, wouldn't it? There'd be, if we could go back, have you got things in your life where you think, I'd love to change what I did that day, I'd love to change what I did that day? Have you got a list of things you wish you could change?
I have a lot of regrets in my life, but none of them can be fixed by a 10-minute rewind. Because I think that the short-term ones, I feel like I can let go of them very easily. It's kind of the more long-term ones where you look back, quite a few years after the fact, and I think, oh, that was a really poor decision. So that's not something that looks like it's her magic abilities. I'm wondering though, because they're in such financial strife, surely she can make money from the 10 minutes, right?
You think so? I mean, yeah, if the focus was go back and make some money, I mean, I don't know, you just look, I don't know. I mean,
go to a casino or something.
It would be illegal, but I'd just look at the share market.
Yeah.
What did that do? And buy it, something like that. You'd make money. It'd be so easy. Anyone could do it.
Yeah, so none of the story makes sense.
No, none of it did at all. I was trying to think deeply about it, and I was thinking, what would I change if I go back? But I was getting too irritated by the show, Suzy. But that's okay.
Do you think there's anything you would change with like this small rewind?
Look, with a small rewind, there's some things that I've done in my life where I think, that wasn't the right thing to do or wasn't the best reaction to something. And I would love to go and change them. I really would. I think it'd be great. It'd be better for all of those involved or whoever it was. It would be great to go back and change them. But if I did that, would it erase the learning from that experience? Because I wonder if you go back and change something, whether you'd have the wisdom to not repeat it again, because you wouldn't know. I mean, some things are so painful or so embarrassing or whatever that they just etch into your life memory and how you act in life, and you learn from it. So I don't know. I've always wondered, should I change things in the past or should I just leave them as is? I mean, no one's hurt or died. Should I leave them as is?
Well, that's true that you learn from those experiences. But I think another big thing is, wouldn't you be terrified of where you're going to end up? Like, you know where you are today, right? Because of the trajectory of your life. But if you were able to go back and change a couple of things, that means you're not going to end up where you are today, right?
No, exactly. And this is the funny thing, because I always wanted to do radio since I was a tiny kid, always wanted to. And, it wasn't my parents' fault, but obviously they had expectations and I tried to please them and did other things instead, which worked out well. And I ended up in radio, and I love it with joy. It's so interesting and so beautiful. I love doing this job here. I may not have ended up in radio had I pursued it. I might have given up and said, I hate commercial radio. It's too much pressure. I hate the ads, the sales. I'm out of here, and may not have ended up doing it and enjoying it. So would going back change things? You're right. You'd end up somewhere else, maybe.
Yeah. Do you think there are people who can actually tell the future? Sometimes I feel like some people have really good intuition, and it makes me feel like maybe it is a supernatural thing, or maybe just some people are wiser. Do
you say this, and Ads, who does our comes in on a Wednesday and talks about what's on at the cinema. He said his mum's got another sense, and she can see things and see people and things. And I went, oh my God, we have to talk about this on the radio. So he's going to talk about it at some point. I find it fascinating. Suzy, when I was in, I think it was first year uni or something, I went to see a clairvoyant down on the Mornington Peninsula. It's one of the only ones I've ever seen. Anyway, she had a tape recorder and she recorded the stuff that she was saying. Now, I was still living at my parents', very young, and some of the stuff she said, I thought, this is ridiculous. You know what? It all came true. Every single one came true.
I've seen two, and both of them had very accurate things. They were small things, but they were very accurate things that I didn't find out till a decade later. So those people are real.
How does that happen? How can it be coincidental? I mean, I have a science engineering background. I quiz everything. I like everything to be peer reviewed and factual. But how does this happen? Is it too coincidental?
Well, if you're a scientific person, you know that there is so much that we don't understand.
True.
We know that there's so much that science keeps trying to uncover. So, it's important that we believe the science and nothing but the science. let's emphasize that.
Oh, absolutely. No, 100%. Data proven factual stuff. No question.
Yes. But there's a lot of truth in the things that we don't know. And I think part of the pleasure of life is to kind of try to embrace the mysteries. You know, a lot of it is very frustrating. A lot of it is very disappointing. But I think without the mysteries, it is going to be also dry and boring, right?
That's true. Do you know what? I've still got the tape. I just realised I did some cleaning out and I found the tape of this clairvoyance reading, and I was going to play it. I haven't got a tape recorder. I don't know. Can you still get tape recorders somewhere? Maybe I can get it.
I've got a tape recorder.
Oh, so I should send it to you. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be your night's entertainment. You can give me a summary afterwards. But I'm thinking I want to listen to it again and just see, because I remember some big things she said and they all came true. I don't know how it happened.
When did this happen?
It was in my 20s, maybe 21. Maybe.
Do you think there's more to come? Did that person say?
I think I need. I want to do another reading. Actually, my instinct is saying, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't. But I want to go and do one. I've just got to find out.
That is such a great thing for the radio show.
I should do. I'll do. Will you come with me and hold my hand?
Let's do it.
We should do. I'll find out her details because she was accurate and she came with all sorts of reviews. So I'll do it and find out what's next, Suzy. Suzy, what are we watching next week?
The Truth About Jussie Smollett is a documentary film on Netflix that took me completely by surprise, and I think it's important we take some time to discuss some of its discoveries involving the controversial case of Jussie Smollett that many of us will remember from a few years ago. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Suzy. And today, of course, we were talking about Reverse For You, which you can catch on Netflix.